everyone! Welcome to my channel, or if you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Amy, and this week we are making the most delicious thing ever. It's probably the most iconic of all comfort foods, macaroni and cheese. Except we're doing a little twist and making white cheddar mac and cheese with bacon. Because really, putting bacon on almost anything just makes it better. The ingredients, like always, are all pretty simple, and many of them may already be in your pantry, fridge, or freezer. So here we go. First, we want 3 cups of sharp white cheddar cheese, and I have two 16-ounce blocks here, so I have a half block more than I need. I know that I'll get this used up within the week for something else, but cheese also freezes really well if you don't use it up in time. Or you could just get like 3 8-ounce blocks and then you'll have the right amount and not have weird leftover bits of cheese. Unless you love having leftover bits of cheese to snack on. I get it. You'll want to avoid the pre-shredded cheese for this too, because the anti-caking agents can make the cheese sauce feel gritty and it won't be as smooth. You could also shred this by hand with a box grater, but I'm using my food processor since it gets this job done really quick. Then I just set this to the side to wait. If you're not making this right away, you could also just cover it up and toss it in the fridge until you need it. Next up, we need to prep our absolute favorite ingredient, the bacon. Place 7 to 8 pieces of bacon on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and make sure to have a piece like this that extends over the sides because it helps to contain all that bacon grease. And you want thick cut bacon for this. The thinner cuts of bacon tend to crumble really easily. We don't want to end up with white cheddar mac and cheese with bacon powder. Put the bacon in a cold oven on a middle positioned rack, and then set the oven to 400 Fahrenheit. I started my timer at 15 minutes, and then I started checking the bacon every few minutes to get my desired amount of crispiness. With the bacon cooking, we can start on our pasta, and this is the only pot we're going to need for this entire recipe, but you do want it to be oven safe, so something like stainless steel or a Dutch oven would be good. We need 1 pound of pasta, and I am using this awesome fancy one that I found at the store, but any pasta that you like for mac and cheese would be perfect. Shells, elbows, rotinis, whatever. Boil the pasta to the box instructions or until the pasta is at your favorite doneness level. After a total of 22 minutes, my bacon is looking amazing. So we're going to get this out of the oven very carefully and jump a mile high when the pan pops, and place the bacon on paper towels to soak up the extra grease. When the bacon's cooled off a little bit, chop it up to your favorite bite size, yell at your partner for trying to steal that bacon, and then put all that yummy, crispy bacon into the side for later. But don't turn off the oven yet, we're gonna need it. By this time, our pasta is ready, and if you're like me, you know the pasta is ready by eating it right out of the pot. We're gonna drain it, but make sure to retain about a cup of pasta water, and I'll show you what we're doing with that one later. Just let the pasta hang out in the strainer for now, since we're gonna wanna use this pot for all of our next steps. To your pot, add 2 tablespoons of butter and let that melt over medium-low heat. When it is all bubbly, add 1 cup of Panko breadcrumbs, and this is important. Keep stirring this constantly because the breadcrumbs can burn really quickly and that would be really sad. So keep stirring these around until they start to get nice and golden, and this took me about 3 minutes of stirring. When they get that nice golden color, get them out of the pan right away into a container so they're off the heat. Now we go back again to our big pot, and it's time for our white cheddar sauce. Add the remaining 4 tablespoons of butter from our recipe, and when that is nice and bubbly, add a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. This is another stir this without stopping thing because we're making a roux and we don't want this to burn either. With a whisk, cook the flour and the butter for about a minute maybe, just to cook out the raw flour taste. Now we'll add 1 cup of milk, but I'm adding it in small amounts and whisking in between each pour. When all the milk is in, do the same thing with 1 cup of heavy cream. Now, if you don't have heavy cream, but you have half and half, just substitute the milk and the cream with 2 cups of half and half, and the sauce will be just as amazing. When all the milk and cream has been whisked in, the sauce should look like this, like a smooth white gravy. And now we're gonna add our seasonings. The seasonings are simple: coarse kosher salt, dry mustard powder, white pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. Half a teaspoon of each one. Although, if you're using a fine grained salt like table salt, you want to cut that down to a 1/4 teaspoon at most. Now we're going to add our cheese. I add the cheese by handful, and I stir each handful in to get it melted into the sauce. As you go, you'll see the sauce getting thicker and creamier, and just keep doing that until the sauce looks like this. Just look at that absolutely epic cheesiness. Now we grab our pasta in our strainer and pour that back into the pot with the cheese sauce. The pasta does tend to stick together, so just be careful it doesn't all fly out in one piece. I want to fold the pasta into the sauce, but I'm making sure to just fold it and not be too aggressive because I don't want to break the pasta apart. And now we're going to grab that pasta water we saved. Now, if your sauce is a perfect texture right now, don't even worry about the water. But I wanted my sauce to have just a little bit more smoothness. So I'm pouring very small amounts of this pasta water into the pot and stirring that around until I'm happy with the texture. You most likely will not need the entire cup of pasta water, and I normally use about 1/4 to 1/2 cup at most. So when you're happy with your texture, just discard the rest of the water. And now our favorite secret weapon, time to add the bacon. You can add it all, like I have here, or you can add some and keep some for a garnish. We're going to fold this into the sauce, again being gentle to avoid breaking that bacon apart. When the bacon is all mixed in, take the breadcrumbs and sprinkle them on the top. Bake this in the oven for about 5 to 7 minutes to give the topping that extra crunch. And here is our fabulous mac and cheese. So I have to say, this is the best mac and cheese I have ever made. It is ridiculously cheesy and creamy. The bacon stayed nice and crispy, and that buttery, crunchy breadcrumb topping. Just look at that insane cheesiness. Please leave a comment if you try this, because this is just epic comfort right here. Next for this week, I have a garden update. I wanted to show you a little of what the heat has done to this garden. The strawberries are still okay. There's a little bit of damage, but they're still looking pretty good, all things considered. This bed still has some pepper plants that are actually looking pretty good. They're small, but still green and look pretty healthy. Unfortunately, the tomatoes are not doing well, and I haven't gotten any tomatoes from them at all, except for one cherry tomato plant that has a few. I'm also a little worried about the grapevine because it is clearly not happy, but I am trying to keep it alive, and I will definitely keep you updated. The watermelon is perfectly happy. No fruit yet, but it's nice and vibrant and still just growing like a weed. The pepper plants are also looking pretty good, and some are actually producing some peppers at the moment, which is just incredible. We have some baby bells, a couple of Thai chilies. I'm hoping these will start going absolutely crazy when the heat breaks a little during the monsoons. We've still got some beautiful little vinca flowers that seem to be perfectly fine with the heat. Every time I come out to the garden, they are happy to say hello, even if it is 105. The blackberries are struggling, but like the grapevine, I'm doing my best to try and keep it going here. And the squash plants, sadly, they're pretty much done. It's just too hot, and even with the 40% shade sail over the entire garden, they are just not happy. Like the tomatoes, I've got some plants, but unfortunately no squashes at all this year. But don't worry, I'm going to try these again next spring. This artichoke here is hanging on for dear life, and I'm actually surprised it's still here. It keeps trying to die. Anyway, sadly, the blueberries just weren't able to hang on, and I'm going to have to try again with some new plants. I am absolutely determined to grow blueberries in this yard. So, even though the heat is doing some crazy things outside, I am not going to let myself be discouraged. I have some new lettuce and spinach seeds here, starting for the indoor hydroponic garden, which is how we eat lettuce all year round. Some of the seeds haven't germinated yet, but if they don't, I'm just going to plant more. We also have some really good germination and growth of the seeds we started several weeks ago, and I'm really happy with this growth. We have more tomatoes because I am determined to grow my own tomatoes no matter how many tries it takes. It's gonna happen. I promise. I also finally got some awesome crazy growth from some tomatillo seeds, and I'm so excited to get these out into the garden. I'm never gonna give up. I will get the hang of gardening in the desert. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out my channel, and leave a comment if you liked this video. And especially let me know if you try this epic white cheddar bacon mac and cheese. Please also check out my exploration series every Wednesday, where we are currently making iconic pizzas, because next week we are leaving the United States and heading to Italy. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I'll see you here next Sunday for some more awesome home cooking. Bye!